So the first thing when we launch InDesign, it's going to open up something like this. And before we even start making, we're going to a document, we're going to go ahead and set our measurement system. So come up here to the words InDesign. Let's go to Preferences. And let's go to Units and Increments. Then when this pops up here, we're going to change our horizontal. We're not measuring in picas. We're going to something we can understand. We're going to go inches, and vertical also inches. We're going to leave our strokes at points and these other things as is and say OK. Now the next thing we're going to say is we're going to create new. So let's go to print. And we can set the parameters right here. So we can just click on the 8.5 by 11 and it'll go here. Notice it's inches because that's what we set it to. Now the next thing we're going to do is tell it how many pages we want. We can have as many as we want. We can add pages later. We can delete pages later, but right now let's start with 4. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to tell it facing pages. That means it's pages that open like a book. You wouldn't do that if you were doing some kind of a flyer or a brochure or something where the pages didn't open like a book where one faces another. But in this particular case, we're doing it be like a book or a magazine, so facing pages. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to give it 5 columns. And these columns they're not what you think they are. They're just guides that help you lay out text and images. It's just some lines on the page that your mouse and cursor and images and text will use to kind of position themselves. It makes it easier. So we're just going to lay them on the page to use to line up things we're putting on the page. These columns will not print, but they'll be there to help you lay out the page in the way you want to. Now, we're going to leave the margins. We're going to flip down. The default is 1/2 inch. That might be a little big for some people. You can adjust it later if you want to, but let's just leave it at the standard 1/2 inch at this point. Okay, the next thing we're going to take care of is bleed and slug, and this has to do with the printing world. If you have a modern printer that can print out to the edge of the page, then you can leave the bleed and slug at 0, because the printer itself will print out to the edge of the page. But in traditional printing, with an offset printer that actually prints onto paper mechanically, you have to print it on a larger piece of paper that's actually larger than the 8.5 by 11 that you're going to that you made your page, and then the paper's cut down to make sure that the ink goes all the way to the end. But we're going to just do it that way as if it was offset printing. So we're going to make the bleed here 0.25, and that should, when we hit enter, go to all of them. And now we have page 1 of our 4 pages. Okay, and you can see this outer ring here, that's the extra bleed we put on the edge. So we're going to work as if everything goes out to the edge here, even though this is only going to be the cut down area or the printing area. Okay. Now from here, you could start laying out your document. And normally you would lay down both image and text. Image, lay down some images, lay down some text, or lay down some text, and then put the images and just sort of mix it up. But we're going to do it by putting down all the images first. So here we go. Now the first way you bring in an image is you have to bring in a frame, and this is the frame tool over here. So you have to click it, and no matter how you have several different ways to bring in images, but no matter how you do it, they end up in a frame. So this first image, we're going to tell it to be off the page here, because remember we're doing the overprint, and then down to this corner. And there's the frame. Now you can use the place feature, which is probably the most common and the most easy. You can just come up here and say File, Place. And then you're going to navigate to where you put your images here. Mine's on the desktop here. And I put InDesign. And then inside here is the cover photo. And we hit Open, and it places it in there. Now let's go ahead and undo this. The next way you can do it without doing the frame first, I'm going to undo the frame too, is to go get the file first. So I can go get the image first, place, and I'll get my cover photo, and then it's attached to my cursor, and then I can draw where I want it to go. Now this is just a demonstration, but when I let go, it just fills it up. let's say we drew the frame first. So we go ahead and draw the frame, but the frame's not as big as the image is. So when we come up here and go File, Place, and we put in the cover photo, it doesn't really fit. So if we go up and get our selection tool, we can actually grab this and move this inside the picture. And that's okay if that's what you want to do. You want to crop it down. But let's say that you still wanted the entire image to fit in this smaller space. Then you have to come up here. You can go to the Object menu because the photo is an object. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose Fitting. And in Fitting, you have several different choices. Now, this is probably the best one. It's Fill Proportionally. That way, it'll sort of squeeze it into this exact area. Okay. The other one that we can do is Fill Content Proportionally, and that does a pretty good job too. But if there was a little bit of different aspect ratio between the frame you drew and the actual image, there would be blank space where the aspect ratio didn't match. And so now let's move it. So get back on your selection tool and come over here and stay away from this. Click on like the edge of it here, and when you click on it, you can drag the whole thing anywhere you want it to go. Let's say in this upper left corner. Okay, now if you want to resize this, you can just resize your frame where you want it to be, and then you can just go back to your Fit Proportionally again and take care of that way. Now we're just going to just click on this to select it and hit delete, and we're going to do this the right way because this is the cover of our document. So we're going to get the frame tool again and draw from corner to corner here, so it fills up the entire area. And we're going to go to File, Place again, and we're going to get our cover photo, put it in there, and then again we're going to go to Fill Frame Proportionally. So now let's save what we got so far. So let's do a File, Save As. And then we're going to navigate back to the folder where we did it. This is the InDesign, and let's just call this InDesign ICA.INDD, and save it. And now we're going to scroll down to our next two pages. And we can scroll over here if we can see them both. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put 3 images at the top of the screen. So instead of keeping going back and forth, if we launch Bridge, and we installed that before we got started here, and we go to Bridge and we navigate to the desktop, and that's where I put the folder. You might have put yours in a different place. I'm going to go to the InDesign and open that up, and then I can actually change the size of these. I can look at them a little bigger. You can see what I'm doing. And the 3 that I'm going to pick are these 3, and they just so happen to be in the order I'm going to use them. So I'm going to click this one, hold down Shift, and this one, and this one. I'm going to click and drag them into here, and when I let go, I get a placement gun. So there's no frames drawn yet, so I've got the images here inside InDesign, and so I'm going to put them here, and I'm going to click and drag all the way across. So I've selected them all the way left and right, and I'm not going to fill it up this way, but I'm still holding down the mouse, and I'm going to go to the right arrow key and type it once, twice. So now you can see I've got 3 spaces where those photos are going to go, and I'm going to make them a little smaller here. Got 3 across the top, and when I let go, there they all are. Now what I have to do is just size them, of course. I'm going to go to Object, Fitting, Fill Frame Proportionally. And it doesn't quite work out here, so I'm going to go back to my selection tool, get the content grabber, and bring her down into the frame a little better. Not so there's a space at the top, but just so the top of her head isn't cut off. Okay, and do rule of thirds a little better with her. So just bring it over here so she's not walking into the edge of the frame. And this one I'm okay with. I might move her just a little bit, but actually that makes that little fuzzy there, so I'm going to leave it more like that, like it was. And okay, so I'm good. Now let's save again, just Command S on a Mac and Control S on a Windows machine. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to edit one of these images. So let's say the client looked at this sweater, they like the model, they like the layout, but they don't like the color of her sweater. So I'm just going to go hit Z on the keyboard to get to the zoom tool. You can see it right here. And I'm just going to zoom in on this a little bit. And I'm going to hit the V key to go back to my selection tool here. I'm going to right click on her image and I'm going to go to Edit With Photoshop. And this is a little bit of a trick that we're going to do, and just follow these steps. Okay, all we're going to do is just go to Select and Color Range, and we're going to select her shirt. Okay, and then we're going to adjust the fuzziness here to get the shirt selected as well as we can. We adjust the fuzziness and get this selected as well as possible. The shirt, don't worry that some of this extra is getting selected. We can dial that back just a little bit. And then just go ahead and click on OK. And you can see that makes a selection. And then we're going to come over here to this little yin-yang looking symbol, which is an adjustment layer where we can put effects on a layer above it. So we're going to do that, and you'll see the selections right here. But just to make sure that that selection is nice and clean and only going to select what we want it to select, let's hold down Option on Mac or Control on PC and click this little icon, and that'll switch everything out. Now we're going to deselect. We're going to paint where it's painted white. That's where the effect is going to get applied. Where it's painted black, the effect is not going to happen. So we're going to make sure that our color swatches are on black. And we're going to go to the Paint Brush tool, just hit B on the keyboard. And then you can change the size of it by using the bracket keys to the right of the P key. And we're just going to erase these parts that we don't want to get the color effect done to. Okay, and just come here and just erase, because we don't want this to happen to her pants or her little piece of her edge of her arm that got picked. And I could also make it a little smaller here, and I can use the zoom tool and zoom in so I can see what I'm doing, and go back to the brush tool and just clean this up. Clean this up here on the edges of where it would be her hair there. And if I go into the edge and mess up, just undo, Command Z, and then just clean it up again. And again, this is her hair. It doesn't have to be perfect, because remember, we're zoomed way in. Nobody's going to see that when we zoom out again. And then Command 0 or Control 0 to zoom back out. And now we're going to click on the hue saturation to bring the controls up here so we can see what we're doing. And we're going to change the color of her shirt. So we're going to push this over to, we're going to click here and go on hue and saturation. And we're going to change the color and the saturation. And the lightness. And get a color that the client is happy with. It's not so dark and dreary, it's a little more happy of a color. And we're going to come up here and go to File, Save. Okay, and we're going to save it into our InDesign folder. And put it there. And then we can close Photoshop. And then here we can just replace this. We just click on this image. And we go to File, Place. And we go get our Model 1 that we did here, PSD, and swap it in there. You see the color swapped out perfectly. Okay, now let's save. Command S, Control S. So the next thing we're going to do is lay down some text. So we get the text tool, and we have to draw a frame just like when we're putting pictures. So we're just going to draw this out here. And then click inside the frame and type Design. Okay, and then let's highlight that, and let's go get a font we like. And I sort of pre-picked out a font. It's called Cervec. And it's just alphabetical order. And I'm going to take Cervec Bold. And let's go ahead and put the font size. Now you can type a font size if you want other. I'm just going to use 72 here. And then if you click outside of it here, you can change back to your Move tool. And when you click outside, you get this little box shows up. Click on it, and then you can come to the corner here and just click and rotate it. And if you want it to go perfectly 90 degrees, hold down Shift. And then we can put it down here in the bottom left corner. And there we go. So let's get the text tool here, and let's draw out a box here for a title. Okay, that's there. Okay, and then we're going to come here and draw a column of text here. And then we're going to get another column of text here. And this is why we put these guidelines to help us lay this out. And then this whole page is going to have text. So from here to here. So now we're just going to click in here and type our header. So it's meet the designers. And let's make this a little bit bigger. So let's go back to type. Well, first let's pick the font. And the one we picked is right here. So that's the Tech bold. And the type size, let's do about 30. Well, let's do 48. That's good. Now, so we're going to connect these boxes together. So if you click on this box with this tool here, you'll see you get the control boxes here to make it bigger, smaller, whatever you're going to do. I'm going to undo that. But you also have, this is the box to let the text flow come in, and this is the box to let the text flow go out to the next box. So we're going to click the out box of this one, and then we click anywhere in here, and then we're going to click the out box of this one and tell it to go to the next one by clicking on this box, and then we're going to click the out box of this one and click it and tell it to go into this box here. Okay, so now the text is going to show. Now, how do you know these are connected? So if you come up here to View, Extras, and Show Text Threads, now you'll see it. If you do not select the text boxes, you don't see the threads. But if you select the text boxes, you now see the threads that connect them together. It goes out of this one, into this one, out of this one, into this one, and out of this one, and into this one. Okay? So now, let's go back to the text tool for typing. And let's click in here and hit return. So we're going to jump down into the next text box here. So we're here in this next text box. But what we're going to do is we're going to fill this text box with some sample text, because we're just doing the basic layout. Later, when the writers, give us the stories, we'll paste all that in there. But we want to see what it looks like with text. So we're going to come up here to type, and we're going to go to, let's just go to something basic, like maybe Myriad Pro. We have that. Yeah, Myriad Pro, regular, and then let's go to like size 10, let's say. And then, so we don't have to fill it all up, we're going to go here and go to type and fill with placeholder text. And it's going to do the whole deal here. And see how it just fills it. And if you zoom in here, I'm just going to hit Z, go on the zoom tool. And just zoom in here. It's just nonsense text, it's called. Okay. But then again, Command 0, and we can slide this back over. So this is what our layout's going to look like. You can see it, some of it filled in here. So what we can do here is just go and resize this box a little bit if we need to. Just make it smaller to force that text to go down. And then we can bring this whole box down a little bit to sort of center it. Okay, there we go. So let's save, Command S or Control S. Now let's work with a little bit of color. So let's get our text tool again, and we're going to select this text. And we're going to go to Window here and Color, and bring up our swatches. And we're going to just pick a nice color that we like. Okay. You'll see if we click off here, it changes this. We can also come down here and select this and do the same. Just come here to our swatches, color swatches, and make the same color here. Okay, so now that we've created these couple of styles, we can tell InDesign to remember this. So we can select this here, and we can go up to Window and Styles and Paragraph Styles. It's going to bring up this box. Now this is just basic paragraph, but we're going to add a new style here. So we're going to add one here, and we're going to double click it, and we're going to call this headline. So this is for all our style for all our headlines. Oh, there's a D in there somewhere. and say OK. And then this was our other text, which is Myriad Pro 10. So we're going to select part of this here, and we're going to make a new style here, and we're going to double click it, and we're going to call it body copy. Okay. And so now that we do this, let's say that we come down here to this last page, and we want to add a title and a headline and some body copy. So we get our text tool and we draw out a place here, and we will type in here all lowercase graphics, and then we'll just highlight that and just tell it to be headline. Okay. And then we'll lay out some more text where we're going to put body copy. And we'll just put this down here like this. And we're going to tell it to fill with the placeholder text. And we're going to select it all right here. And we're going to tell it default to be body copy. Okay. And that way you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you do something. Okay, let's save, Command S or Control S. So now let's just go ahead and move up into this area here. Get rid of this paragraph styles. We can bring it back later. We're over here. And let's put that picture in that we got rid of a little while ago. So I'm just going to go and get my file place. And I'm going to go get my model on the background and open. And I get my little placement gun here. So I'm going to draw her in here. I'm going to have her kind of hanging off the edge of the page there. And then move inside with this. Not grabbing this. And have her elbow touch there and have the end bottom of her kind of going off the page. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn on a thing called text wrap. Now she's an image that has transparency, so we can see the text behind her. But we want the text that's over here to not be there. So we want it to kind of wrap around her from this edge. So we're going to go up to Window and Text Wrap. And that's going to bring up these controls. And with this selected, we're going to tell it to be an irregular shape. And it still doesn't know what it's looking for, so we're going to go here and we're going to say detect edges, and then the text will wrap around her. Now, it doesn't look so great that it's, back in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in a little bit. So let's go on the zoom tool. Let's zoom in here so we can see what we're doing. Okay, and we're going to go up here to View and Display Performance and put it on high quality, so it stays sharp. It doesn't look all fuzzy. Okay, and we're going to select this tool, which lets us get these little points that are around her, and we're going to drag these points out to tell it that to expand these is sort of like a force field around her, and we're going to tell it to push all these words. Let's grab these little points and push all these words out of the background, and do the same thing here. You got the little points here. You got to find where the points are. Okay, and then maybe some here that are behind her head. We don't like. Oops! I want to move the whole thing. Undo. Command Z. And let's just push some more. And so maybe one more little area here. Okay. There's a couple letters here. A couple letters here. Okay, so now there's none around here. Okay, you might want to push these out a little bit farther away from her so they don't blend so much into her there. So now we get a nice little text wrapping thing happening here. So let's zoom back out, Command 0. If we click off of it so we don't see the bounding box, now we've got this nice text wrap effect that's happening around her. So there we go, and we're pretty much done. So now let's save again, Command S or Control S, and we're going to export it. So we're going to export as a PDF. So we're going to go File and Export. Oh, we got Adobe PDF presets. So we can just go here, high quality for print. And we're going to tell it to go here. And this is our InDesign ICA, and save. And it's going to bring up this box. We're just going to accept all the defaults. And now we're done. And my folder is my InDesign. And here's my PDF that I just exported. And if I double click it, Acrobat will open. And here is our PDF that we made. Okay, and here's the pages that we created. And there's the whole deal. Okay, that's it.